see here, YouTube channel, but I was unable to check my Facebook platform to see if it worked there. But I just wanted to bring you some information on a couple of foods here that I got. We've got some raw ginger, raw turmeric. We've got a couple of knobs of it right here. I'm going to juice these, and just wanted to talk about some of the nutritional benefits. I'm about 42 hours, 41 hours or so into a fast, and just wanted to show you what I'm going to do to break this. This is lacinato kale, or dynamite, vitamin A, vitamin K, potassium, copper, manganese. I'm just trying to recall off the top of my head. It's a powerhouse for nutrition, and I had this here wrote down. I wanted to show you guys isothiocyanates, and underneath you see the words NCBI. So if you actually take that entire word, I broke it up like that so it's a lot easier to read and pronounce. It's called ITCs for short, and this is a compound that's anti-carcinogenic, so really powerful there. But if you take that phrase, isothiocyanates and NCBI, and type that in on the Google search box, what you're going to get is a bunch of, you can go in and customize the search on, that's PubMed. You can go in there and reconfigure or customize your search to peer-reviewed, meta-analysis, double-blind, placebo trials, and kind of narrow your search or filter your search to something more that would be appropriate, in my opinion, whenever it comes to peer-reviewed articles and such, especially when we're talking about using nutrition therapies as a means to healing tumors, the metastasis of cells, cancer growth, or anything like that, and using foods to combat this and using it for a preventative measure. So we know ginger, really good on the digestive tract, really good at easing digestion and helping the stomach and the motility there and peristalsis. And we also know that turmeric is one of the most researched foods, or superfoods if you want to call it that. Trying to think, just as we know, it's got just so many. If you go instead of typing isothiocyanates into the Google, if you type in turmeric, NCBI, on the Google search bar and hit enter, it's going to pull up a bunch of articles showing the nutritional benefits of turmeric. And so what we're going to do is take this kale, take this turmeric, take this ginger, take this celery, and we're going to use some cucumber. The cucumber and the celery here, yeah, go figure, it's in plastic. The cucumber and the celery here, whenever I go to juice these, what they're going to do is they're going to provide me my kind of liquid base, because you're going to get, you won't get a lot. It takes a lot of ginger and turmeric to get a lot of juice out of it. And turmeric at my store here is $15 a pound for organic turmeric. And so we're going to juice this up in my juicer here. And so let me set up my little station. All right, and I'm gonna grab that. I guess I should have done that first. Okay. Yeah, it's expensive.
Is this turmeric or is this horseradish?
That's ginger. Alright, so everybody, if you can hear me, what I'm doing is just plugging up my juicer right now and getting the components. Just got to get a couple of things and then we can resituate here. Oh yeah. Again, the live, raw, uncut here. So what I'm going to do is attempt to take this off its tripod, and I will put this right here just for now until I can continue setting up. So let's see. there. Where is my stuff? Don't even mess with that kind of stuff. Alright, did you put up my other juicing components?
There's another one in the compressor. You see?
I'm looking for the gigantic tube. Alright. I'll shut you guys out, didn't I? I guess I should have had all this station set up before I did this. That would be the common sense thing to do. Hold this, please. So we want... Trying to lock this blade in here, and it's kind of a pain. There we go. This is so funny. Set this up on the fly.
Is that easiest?
Alright, where is... There was a little gray thing that I had set up.
There it is.
Yeah, there we go. Alright.
What do you
So grab me the big old bunch of kale right there. Grab me the cucumbers. Bring me the ginger. Bring me the turmeric. Bring me the celery. You can make multiple trips if you need to. I got my son helping me here. Alright, so I hope you guys can see this because I'm live streaming off a different platform, so I can't see comments and I can't look and view anything right now, so bear with me.
So you just need kale.
Where'd you put everything?
It's in this big bowl. So you just pick out.
Waiting on my son, you guys, so this could take a while.
Here you go.
Alright, so you're going to stand there and hold that so I can do all this. So we got our bunch of celery right here. Celery is really good for down-regulating inflammation. It's also really high in fiber and potassium. It's good at lowering blood pressure. It's good at controlling blood sugar as well. So y'all might hear this noise. So I'm just going to take a stalk, feed it through. I'm actually going to break off all of these apart, start feeding in. Now this is a Breville juicer. It's a centrifugal juicer, which if you're balling on a budget and can't really afford a bigger one, although they have some of the better ones, like your Omegas, Champions, I think have actually gone down in price. They've become a little bit more affordable, where they might be a couple of $100 as opposed to what they used to be. And let me show you guys what I'm working with here. So this is the Breville centrifugal juicer. You load in from the top right here. This is your plunger. So the juicer goes into this spinning, I don't even know what you call it, mechanism gear, and it shreds it and shoots the debris into here and spits the juice out right here. And I've got my cup. Now you see the foam there. This is the one thing I don't like about the centrifugal juicers, is because when you get a masticating juicer, such as an Omega, you won't get this foam. That foam is the oxidation that takes place from using the centrifugal type juicers. And that allows you to not be able to store your juice over time. You kind of want to drink your juice right away. So don't make a whole bunch and expect to store it when you're using this type of juicer.
That's good for coffee.
And yeah, my son made a good point. So the fibers that you saw over here on the left hand side that was shooting out all the debris after shredding up the juice, we actually saved that. You can do a couple of things. We've frozen it and had like little ice cube, vegetable pureed ice cubes. We've also made vegetable patties out of it. And I typically just go dump it outside on my bucket that I have where I make my own compost for my garden. Now this year, because of my living areas, I wasn't able to get my garden going, so hopefully here pretty soon I'll be able to do that. Last year I did make my own compost and mixed it in my dirt, and I grew a bunch of kale, butter lettuce, Swiss chard, and tomatoes, and had really good success with the chard, the kale, and butter lettuce. Not so much with the tomatoes, but you know, I'm a new 21st century gardener, so I'm kind of just learning as I go. So my cup is getting pretty full of juices. I might need a second one. Ethan, down there underneath the water on the side, you can get like a 32 ounce my coffee cup, the stainless steel one that I take with me out of town and in the dump truck. Alright, see, that's what I'm talking about. Now we're grinding up that lacinato or dino kale, and we're getting some really good dark green colors here in the juice. Well, I wanted the metal, not plastic. Gotta teach them so they can learn. Okay, so we're switching cups. So that one's full from the celery and the cucumber. Hold that, please. Alright, so yeah, we're just taking, this is all the kale. I'm just gonna feed it right into the top here. Yeah, now we're getting some really nice, good dark green juice color. Let's see if I can pull this down here for you guys to see. Alright, so you'll see. And right down there, that whole bunch made just probably 2 ounces of juice. Here's the other cup, so you can see the foam. That's the vegetable juice that has kind of become oxidated, but still really good. So now what I'm going to take is the ginger right here and the turmeric, and we're going to juice these as well into this container. Then I'm going to mix them so the juice is all good and mixed up. Add a little bit of cayenne, and then we're going to drink that. And if it's too much, like too strong in green juice flavor, you can add some stevia to it. This right here will kind of help sweeten it up if you can't stomach or kind of muscle down that taste. So let me switch. Alright. So this is the first time I've actually used this live streaming service, so we're going to see how it works. Alrighty, so 1 knob of turmeric. Ooh, got some good juice, you can smell it. Oh yeah, looks so good. That's the turmeric right there. It kind of looks like a carrot on the inside.
What does turmeric help for?
So my son said, I don't know if y'all can hear him because I got this thing and these headphones in, but he said, what is turmeric good for? Well, it's highly researched and it's really good as an anti-inflammatory compound, especially for like aching and pains in the joints and just overall recovery of any time of inflammation in the body. So having this kind of drink, both of these with all of the stuff that we're adding in here, and the ginger is really good for your digestion and a number of things as well. Yeah, grab me a knife. I just don't want to shove that whole thing in there. It's at the size, I don't even know what the size of, but that's a good size. Like you can see my fist. A good piece of ginger there, and this is going to really make for the drink to be spicy. Alright, we have a novice here on the juicer spitting debris at me. Yeah, so whenever you're doing just turmeric and ginger by itself, it really does make a spicy cocktail. So any beginners out there that have never had juice, like fresh juice, turmeric and ginger root, yeah, you might want to start with a little bit and just shoot it, like 1 ounce or even ½ ounce, and see how it is. Because that stuff can actually burn. Alrighty, so turn that off. This also has two speeds, a high speed and a low speed. And one other thing that you can do is after you juice all of your vegetables and whatever, you can take your container off and take out all the mulch and put it back through the juicer a second time, especially on these centrifugal juicers, and you can actually extract probably 30% more that you didn't get that first time through. The masticating juicers, it's called masticating because of the mastication. It's supposed to replicate this like your jaws do, and it crunches down, so you can even hear that noise on those types of juicers, and it's just trying to emulate what your jaws would do. Our jaws are probably actually, these molars back here are probably the best juicers in the world. But however, if maybe you don't have teeth, or maybe you're just wanting to drink the juice for a cleanse during a fast, and this is something actually that you can do during a fast. I know I'm doing a fast here August 24th, running through the 29th, and it's 5 days, and I'm telling people, you choose your fast. If you want to do juice, if you want to do bone broth, if you want to do water, if you want to do a mixture of all three, try it out. If you got some really bad gut dysbiosis or gut problems, doing a water only or even a bone broth only fast really is good for healing the gut lining and resetting that microbiome and that gut flora, your gut bacteria. So I love it, and this is I'm about to break my fast here in just a moment. I'm going to have some of this juice. I'm going to make some Brussels sprouts. Those are also in the cruciferous family that have these isothiocyanates in it as well. And so go type in isothionates NCBI on the Google search bar and look at all the articles that come up of anti-carcinogenic compounds and just the health benefits of dark leafy green vegetables, especially in the cruciferous family. Really, really good components in nutrition. So avocados. I'm about to eat some avocados and get in some good healthy fats, and possibly check my numbers here on the Keto Mojo device and see where I'm at. Just preparing myself, and this week I was doing a 4-2-1 diet variation theme, I guess. So 4 days eating a ketogenic style diet, 2 days of fasting, and 1 day of feasting. And you don't have to do the 2 days back to back like I did. You can do them spread out throughout the week. You can do keto diet, fast, feast. Typically, I don't like putting feast and fast back to back, but you can. So I just don't like doing 48 hours back to back up against a feast day. I like to kind of wean myself and come down slowly from 36, 48 hour fast, and breaking that with some bone broth, some soft vegetables, avocados, and maybe a smoothie. And then maybe a few hours later have a decent sized meal, and let that be my one meal for the day, then go into my feast day the next day. And just leave your comments and questions below. You can find us on Facebook at Therapeutic Tools Fasting, or you can just message me or email me, ketoguide@yahoo.com. Visit my website, upstreamvitality.com. Leave a comment, and I can add you to the fasting group. And during that fasting week, I will be doing live videos every night to kind of tell you what to expect during your fast, what you might experience, and just to be with you alongside each day as motivation and encouragement. My family and I are really looking forward to a spiritual breakthrough through this fast, and as well as just some guidance and answers from Yahweh, and really wanting to just reboot our health. It's really good to do these 5 day fasts, once or twice a year, and maybe even quarterly or monthly, depending on the condition of the person and how health challenged they are. But it's a great way to really just reset yourself and utilize that time to pray with your family and petition your prayers to Yahweh for whatever breakthrough it is that you're looking for, or whatever answers that you're seeking. So I'm really looking forward to this time. I'm already generating questions and thoughts and scriptures to write down, to pray with my family during that time, and to really utilize that area of fasting to, expect our Father and Creator in heaven to move on our behalf for things that we're praying for. And it's going to be really awesome. So I really hope that you guys can join me in on this 5 day fast. Remember, you choose your fast. If you're a complete beginner, the reason why I've been doing videos since mid-July on getting keto adapted or fat adapted is because it really does make the transition, and it really does make the first 1 to 2 to 3 days a lot easier, as opposed to just jumping in head first, never even getting into ketosis or fat adapted. So if you followed me since mid-July, and you've heard some of the things on how to become fat adapted by lowering your carb intake. Let's see, if it's mid-July, so we're about week 4, week 5, and we got 2 more weeks to go. But I think we're about week 4. So week 1, we wanted to keep our carb intake under 10 grams per day. Week 2, under 20 grams. Week 3, under 30. Week 4, under 40. Because by the time you get to week 5 and you're keeping it under 50 grams of carbohydrates a day, what this will do is it'll make it a lot easier to stay under 50 grams or right at 50. And if it's okay if you go over to 60, but the best way to figure out is using the Keto Mojo device to measure 30 minutes before you eat, or before you eat, to see where you're at in the day. Because if you see your glucose going up as opposed to what your numbers were in the morning, then that means there's some areas that we need to work on there, because what we want to see is our glucose going in a downward trend, not upward trend, as the day progresses. And so typically test after you eat too, to see what that meal, its impact had on your blood sugar. And what this fast will really do is just kind of help us reset our hormones to optimize the sensitivity to insulin, so that way we can control our blood glucose levels a lot better, and then switch our body over in this like metabolic switch to become fat burners. And so whenever we do have these feast days, our body can kind of switch between mode A and mode B of using both sugar for fuel and utilizing fat for fuel. And it comes through practices of intermittent fasting, and just really dialing in on this. You really have to pay attention to what you're doing. And then once you do it for so long and kind of get the idea of what you're eating, and the dietary habits of the ketogenic diet, and doing it the correct way, transitioning into this, so you don't experience a keto flu, and so you don't be that 1 or 2% of people out there that experience a keto rash or keto crotch. We want to balance this ketogenic diet out with a lot of alkaline-based foods, and that does come through a lot of dark leafy green vegetables, and that'll kind of help supply your nutrients and fiber intake with having these keto flus and keto crotch or keto rashes. But it's people that are making beginner mistakes when they're coming into a ketogenic diet. Now, the keto flu is just primarily because your body isn't used to burning or using ketones as its fuel source. It's wanting the sugar, and so that's why we want to get you fat or keto adapted, so your transition into the 5-day fast is a lot easier, because during those first 3 days, for people that just jump in head first, what tends to happen is their body is not metabolically flexible or in that switch yet, so it's still wanting and craving sugary foods or carbohydrate-rich foods, because it's needing its fuel source, and it doesn't really know to tap into its fat storage to use its fat for fuel. So just some key points to think about there. But leave your questions below so I can go back and read those if you have any. Be sure to send them to me in comments or emails, and I'll get back with you. And I'm going to enjoy this juice with my wife, and we'll go from there. So hope to see you soon. Thanks.